The latest incident of Trinidad and Tobago refusing entry to Jamaicans indicates a breach of the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas. That's the conclusion of Jamaica's Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Kamina Johnson-Smith. At a recent press briefing, Mrs. Johnson-Smith noted that the treaty allows for hassle-free movement across CARICOM member countries, except in two circumstances redefined by the CCJ at the conclusion of the Shanique Mari case against Barbados. She says those circumstances are being undesirable and a charge to the state. She says from reports into the incident, neither of those cases apply to the Jamaicans who were recently refused entry.
Based on the complaints received in relation to the recent refusals of entry into Trinidad and Tobago in March 2016, some persons indicated that they were denied entry for reasons which were either unknown or unclear to them. Furthermore, the reasons given for the denials of entry are not consistent with our understanding of the Shanique Mari ruling, which significantly reduces the discretion of the immigration officer in respect of nationals of CARICOM members who are also part of the CSME. Although we note that 98% of Jamaican travelers over the last 18 months have been allowed entry into Trinidad and Tobago, we still believe that the rate of denials, and in particular over the last 3 months, is still too high. If this trend continues, it will be higher than last year.
Mrs. Johnson-Smith notes that following consultations with the Trinidadian authorities after incidents of deportation of Jamaicans in 2013 and 2014, the recommendation was made for the provision of better facilities at the airport to accommodate passengers who are not landed. She says to date this has not been done.
At the end of consultations in 2014, Trinidad and Tobago undertook to examine all options for providing facilities at the airports for persons denied entry. They have not addressed this issue as the mistreatment of Jamaican nationals detained in the airport continues to recur. It is evident from the written reports received from some such Jamaicans who were recently denied entry that they were not as upset about being denied entry as they were about the manner in which they were treated while detained. They had to sleep in chairs or on the floor. There was no access to proper bathroom facilities, and little or no food was provided. Some of the complainants also indicated that they were mocked and jeered by security personnel who was left in charge of them.
So how has the Jamaican government responded? Mrs. Johnson-Smith says an investigation was launched into the issue by the Jamaican High Commission in Trinidad and Tobago, and she has had frank dialogue with the Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs in the Twin Island Republic, Dennis Moses.
I have also written to Minister Moses at the request of Cabinet to indicate the government of Jamaica's strong concern regarding the most recent incidents of mistreatment of Jamaican citizens, and to indicate that we are anxious to be provided with concrete, constructive solutions with specific timelines for addressing the issues which continue to plague relations between our countries. It was made clear that Cabinet is concerned that despite the level at which previous discussions took place and the positions adopted, the issues continue to recur. For clarity, the 3 specific concerns raised were A, the high rate of denial of entry of Jamaicans by Trinidad and Tobago, and this may be compared to the rate of denial of Trinidad and Tobago, of nationals of Trinidad and Tobago by Jamaica. B, the treatment of Jamaicans by immigration officials, and C, the lack of proper dignified facilities to accommodate returnees overnight in the airport pending their return. I have asked my counterpart to indicate specific timelines within which his government or its agents, whether CAL or the Airports Authority of TNT, will address the matters.
Minister Johnson-Smith says receipt of the letter was confirmed by Mr. Moses, who noted the letter would have been brought before his Parliament.